Hey guys, RivalBoss here, and it's been a while, right? Well, a lot has changed in the short couple, like a month or so that I've made my last video. I recently found out, well, not recently, but I knew for a while, but we hadn't announced yet that I'm having my first baby with my wife, and we were excited, but some things had to change. We needed an extra room, so the game room, of course, now has become the game corner. But my wife really supports gaming, me and my gaming and stuff. So, I basically have my entire side of the bed to my stuff. As you can see, it's now piled high. But this video isn't really about that, though I'm excited for the future. We're going to keep trying to make some videos, in 2021, a lot more, hopefully. But we're just going to kind of take a thing. But this video alone, I got the Xbox Series X a little early for Christmas, and I've had the PlayStation 5 since launch, and I just wanted to basically talk about the two systems and what my thoughts of them are now that I've played them quite a bit. Everything from the controller to the games to the consoles themselves, and just kind of give you my feedback on them. So, without further ado, if you like this video and it is helpful to you, or you would like to see more of my videos, just please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. And I love you guys, and please keep coming back to me because I love hearing from comments and stuff. Okay, so let's get into it. I think we'll start off with the Xbox Series X. Well, what do I think of the console? Well, the console's a really nice design as far as being a box. I've literally put this thing behind my TV itself, like literally the gap behind my TV, because I feel like that's a pretty good spot for it. It does have lots of insulation. It is nice that you can lay it on its side or upright very easily with these little pegs on the side. I do like the design overall. I wish you could take the stand off, but that's pretty regularly, things people comment about. I also feel that the overall heat coming out of this thing and the quietness is really nice. I've been playing Cyberpunk. I'll show you right now. The games I've been really playing on it are Cyberpunk 2077. I haven't got hugely into this game because I'm really waiting for them to patch it. I will say it's a little disappointing that you can either just have resolution mode or frame rate mode. I would like them to do something like we're going to talk about in a little bit, Spider-Man, where they kind of have like a mix of the two, but you're still getting ray tracing. But like I'm just kind of waiting for the next gen patch on this thing. And then I've also been playing Vanquished, the remaster. I love freaking Vanquished. If you've never played Vanquished, you should play Vanquished. Platinum Games is amazing. And then a little bit of Gears 5 because that one has been enhanced for this already. So I've been playing that a little bit. But mostly, honestly, what I've been playing on this the most is I got their service, their premium service, where you basically can play a ton of games per month. And I've just been going back over backlogs of games with my wife and stuff. And I'll tell you what, their service is great. I don't know if the price point, I wish they could get that down to about $10 a month because I think they'd be sold. But yeah, I really like this system. The backwards compatibility of it is really good. You can pretty much put anything in here and it will upscale and look great. Or, even on the game systems are amazing. The games are. The only things I don't like about this system are it seems to be a little bit slower than the PlayStation 5 as far as downloading goes. And I think that's just because this one has a little bit faster thing. Don't quote me if I might be wrong there, but it just seems like it. It's still very quick as far as downloading goes. I haven't really had any issues. Like, it's not noticeable enough to make me unhappy. The other thing is when you eject and put in a disc on this one, the disc drive itself is quieter when it's actually going. I'll talk about that with the PlayStation 5, but it literally sounds like it's like putting the disc in and putting it out. I haven't really seen anybody mention that other than me, so it might just be my unit. It's working, but it just sounds bad. Like, I don't know why. The other thing was, it was a little weird setting this one up because it makes it wanted me to do it through my app, a lot of it, like the phone app. to make it easier, and it was just kind of weird a little bit. But yeah, you know, other than that, I do like the idea that you can have the expansion port right here on the card. You won't have to open up the system like you will at the PlayStation. That's really nice. The UI is okay. It's not much changed, honestly, from the Xbox One, which is good and bad. I just don't feel like it doesn't feel as premium as the PlayStation 5's new UI, and not quite as sleek, honestly. And I don't think it's even in 4K. I think that was one other thing I'd heard. So that's kind of disappointing. I do see when it switches from a game from the menu, it does kind of like flash my TV, which the PlayStation 5 doesn't do. I do really like the quick resume. That is a really cool feature of this, where you can go from one game to another. I don't really know how much I'm going to use it like all the time, but I will say I went from like Cyberpunk, it literally holding where I was, to like a different game like when I was using Game Pass, and it just put me right back in the game. It's really cool. I don't know how many games it holds up exactly. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 into memory, but really neat. The controller. So let's talk about this controller. This controller is pretty good. Basically, if you liked the Xbox One controller, you're going to like this. It feels a little bit smaller in my hands. The little sticks feel a little bit smaller as well. You got a new dedicated share button there, and you got a really nice D-pad. I really do like this D-pad. I've been using this D-pad for Tetris and stuff like that, of all things. But yeah, nothing really revolutionary. It does feel nice. The triggers feel pretty good. I've had like Metal Jesus complain about his triggers. I think his is busted because my triggers feel fine. But yeah, and you know, as far as glitches and stuff go, other than Cyberpunk being a buggy mess, I really haven't had too many crashes. I don't think I've had a single crash other than Cyberpunk, which is expected. And it's been very stable other than that. This system has been really stable, which I really like it for. But yeah, so, you know, the Xbox Series X is a great system. It's too bad a lot of the exclusives and stuff that were supposed to come out for it didn't make it. So you're kind of stuck with playing a lot of previous generation stuff. I could have gotten like some of the Valhalla and stuff that were like, you know, optimized for this. But I kind of like, from watching like Digital Foundry and stuff, most of the versions were better on PlayStation 5 currently, because I believe they got the development kits earlier. So this will eventually be better for, you know, compared to side, maybe. But it's very negligible right now, so we'll see. So that's my thoughts on the Xbox Series X. So now the PlayStation 5. Okay, so let's talk about the PlayStation 5. I got the PlayStation 5 on day one, booted it up, and was instantly met with a crash. So, like, literally on startup. I went through and went through a couple screens. I got past the HDR setup, which we're going to talk about the HDR in a little bit too. The HDR setup, and for some reason the system froze. So I literally had to pull the power, reboot the system. It recovered, thankfully, and then let me set it up fine. Since then, I have not really had any other crashes with the system. But I just thought it was notable that it literally crashed the very first time I powered it up. I did not get to see the special screen that a lot of people did, the one-time screen that starts when you first enter, because I believe that's where it crashed. Weird, right? So, since then, or if it did, if I did supposedly get to see it, the screen was black because it was still doing something configurized. I never saw it. So, but yeah, so one crash, not really big deal. It worked. Thank goodness. I was praying when it crashed. I was like, oh, please don't let my PlayStation 5 be bricked. But it didn't. It recovered and it was fine. So now let's just talk about the system, right? The system itself is gigantic. It is huge. I mean, look at it compared to the Xbox Series X. It is much bigger than the Xbox Series X. Now, I will say, while the Xbox Series X has kind of like a matte finish, the PlayStation 5 has that on the outsides in white, and I'm happy with that. The inside is this slick like plastic that was on basically the PlayStation 3 Fats, and it will scratch really easily. I have had to be really careful with not scratching this because they made it out of that stuff. It looks nice. It's kind of a nice flat versus a shiny, but I wish they would have just gone with a matte black on the inside. Other than that, it does have really nice touches. On the inside, there is a Sony symbol, and inside of this texture is a bunch of X's, O's, and triangles. And that's a really cool design, like a little extra feature, which I feel like the Xbox Series X doesn't really have. It just has a Xbox symbol on the front and a little green highlight on there. So I really liked how this one looked like a premium product. And this thing is really, even though it's huge, it's really a cool, neat design. Like, everything about it. Now, they both have, you know, their faults as far as this one is huge. Like, and to make it go from an upright to a sideways position is kind of a hassle, because you got to take it off and you got to fix it. You got to turn the stand and then take the bolt out, put the bolt in. It's a little bit of a process. Versus the Xbox Series X, you literally just tip it on its side. Now, the PlayStation 5 will look cleaner in both ways, because the Xbox, you can't get rid of this stand down here. They should have made this removable. But, you know, this is a piece of art. This is a box. This is a PC tower. They're both PC towers. This is a router. But yeah, the other design, they got the PlayStation on the side there. I will say, so this one, I have not heard this thing at all, even while playing Cyberpunk. This one, when playing lots and long time, it is also inside of my TV, you know, setup, much deeper than this thing is. This thing's sitting on the top. So I have heard this one have to cool off a little bit more. I haven't heard any of the fan whine that has been mentioned before. So either my unit isn't affected by that, or, you know, I can't hear it because maybe all the excess noise in my living room. But I haven't had any of that. I will say both systems seem to stay very cool running. I will say their disk drives, though, are kind of both of their weaknesses. This thing, when you put a disk in and out, sounds like a chunk, chunk, like just a real weird, chunky noise. I don't know if my system has a problem or not, but yeah, that's one thing. But when the disk is running, this one's pretty quiet, while this one, you put the disk in and out, super silky smooth. It's just like, but when this thing is reading disk, it is loud. Like, it is a loud disc player. They should have put some more insulation in there to quiet this thing down, or maybe think. So, and which makes me kind of feel like they originally were going to do just all digital editions, and they knew that people were just going to be like up in arms. So they bolted this thing to the side, because even when they take this thing apart, it looks like an afterthought. But yeah, so it's a loud drive. It does quiet down once you're actually physically playing the game, but on first boot, this drive is very loud. This one is not quite as loud. It is, you can still hear it, but it's not quite as loud as this one. Other than that, the lights illuminate on the top, white or blue when you're booting it up, and white once it's running. I really wish they would have changed that. They changed the PlayStation button, which we'll talk about in a minute. So it would look so much cooler, illumination is blue, and then white when it's booting up. This one, you literally only have the Xbox button that lights up to let you know what's going on. Thus is what I was talking about. It would have been really cool once the system's powered on for this to turn green slightly. But, you know, at the same time, I know that people have some of these things in their rooms, and maybe they don't want it illuminating. This thing definitely illuminates more. But let's talk about the other things about the system here. You know, other than that, I really like the system design. It is huge, though, so you're going to have to figure out where to put it. Now let's talk about the controller, right? This is the main selling point of the system. I don't even know this one has gyros in it. I'm kind of interested to know. Let me know in the comments below if this thing has gyros in it. I'm not sure it does. But this thing has gyros, haptic feedback, and, you know, HD rumble, basically. And the other nice thing, by the way, I'm going to go right off the thing. They include Astrobot Rescue, or what is it? Is it Rescue? It's not Rescue. Astrobots, whatever. I can't remember what the game is, for free on the system. And I tell you what, even though it's a short game, if you loved PlayStation, it is a romp down, memory lane from the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 that you collect like these objects. It's so cool. I love that game. It's so much fun. It's a great platformer, and it comes free. And it's short, but it's really cool. And it uses this controller phenomenally. It will teach you everything from the haptic feedback, which is a game changer. Microsoft, you got to get on the ball with this, haptic feedback. I don't know if they even can, if this is patented or not. But I tell you what, when you fire a gun, like in Call of Duty Black Ops, you can literally feel the difference between where the trigger is like cocked, like if it's just like that, to actually firing the gun. And then each round going off will vibrate the trigger slightly. And it just has such a nice feeling. In Demon Souls, you can feel big demons walking around you on the controller. It's hard to describe with that HD rumble. Like, it will go, like, if he's over here, this side of the controller will be rumbling. And if he moves around, you will literally feel it in the controller. It is so neat. In Astrobots, they have a part where you're like grabbing with a monkey going up a hill. Maybe I'll put some footage. And you can literally feel when his hand clamps down and goes up. And then you use the gyro to like move his arms. So yeah, this controller is a game changer. I will say one thing I did notice that it's a little bit rounder on the sides than the Xbox. And I don't know if it's just because I was playing hardcore Demon Souls, but I almost like bruised the inside of my hand while holding this. And I don't know if it's just because it's too round or if I was just holding it too tight and playing for too many hours, right? The other thing that's kind of weird is, so they used to have it where you used to hold down the PlayStation button to get to the shutdown menu. So they changed it where you just tap it now to go to that menu, and you hold it to go back to the main menu, which it's a little jarring at first, but you get used to it. Other than that, you got your share button, and then you got your, options or start button, basically. And I have done a couple streams now with the PlayStation 5. You can look on my channel. And it was so easy just to set this thing up to stream. And the quality looks great. So let's talk about the experience I had with some of the games on the PlayStation 5. So I actually played quite a few games on the PlayStation 5. I beat Miles Morales, I beat Sackboy, I beat Demon Souls, and I'm most of the way through the new Call of Duty. And here's some of my thoughts. Well, Miles Morales you just gotta buy it. If you buy a PlayStation 5, you should buy Miles Morales. And that's because you get to see all the pretty graphics with either full-on ray tracing mode or performance mode, 60 frames, or you could do a little bit of ray tracing and 60 frames. They even have a mode for that now. The game looks phenomenal. The game is a great game, action-adventure. It's shorter, but, for the price point, it's worth it. I really feel like that's a really good game. How it utilizes the controller is whenever you shoot a web, you'll literally feel the trigger tension in the trigger. And then when you get thrown against the wall, you got the haptic feet or the rumble support and everything like that. And yeah, it uses it very mildly, as does Demon Souls, as far as like I described with the big demons. When you swing your sword, when you crash through something, lightning bolts goes off, enemy attacks, you'll feel all that in the haptic feedback. When you pull back a bow shot on your bow, you'll feel that, like the tension in the arrow. So much so, it's kind of weird. If you fire the arrows too fast, it will kind of almost get out of sync, where you're like firing them and the haptic feedback almost can't keep up with it a little bit. But yeah, so real neat. Demon Souls, by the way, is an amazing game, but I'm going to mention this now. So the weird thing I had with this PlayStation 5 with my TV, and it might not be the same way for you, both systems, by the way, you should make sure that your TV can even support the HDMI, the new HDMI, I think it's 2.1 or whatever, the new HDMI cable that comes with both systems. Use the cable that comes with both the systems. But my weird bug I had with when I was playing is, so even though I set HDR up at the very beginning, it was not, it would tell me that it was disabled. And inside of Demon Souls, I noticed that too. I was like, why is it telling me my HDR is disabled? And I couldn't figure it out why. I couldn't figure out why it was doing that. And then I watched a couple of videos much later on, after I beat all of these other games except for Cold War. I literally saw a video about messing with the -1, -2 in the HDR settings as far as TV. I forgot interpol or something like that. And when I put it to -2, it would then let me enable HDR, and HDR is on now with my games. But I had to set it to -2, and I think that has to do with my TV being slightly older. So you might not have that issue, but if you can't enable HDR, which it seems like a bug to me, honestly, because it should be working at normal, because my TV actually does support HDR10 on that HDMI slot. So it's real odd, but yeah, I guess the data transfer rate wasn't high enough, maybe, or my TV wasn't reading it, so I had to set it -2. So if you're having problems with your HDR working on your PlayStation 5, mess around with that setting, and it should fix it. The big disappointment with Xbox was everybody was like, oh, Halo's coming out, and Halo's been delayed till probably, they announced now that it's not coming to Xbox One, which is good. They should only have it on Series X, because make it a next-gen experience. But yeah, so it doesn't really have any exclusives, and while Game Pass is awesome, and that is a game changer for the Xbox Series X, hopefully Sony can do something like that too. Like, if Sony came in with a plan kind of like Xbox at $9.99, get a little bit of competition going, it would be great for all of us. So let's really hope PlayStation maybe somehow does something like that. But yeah, there weren't a lot of exclusive games. In fact, most of them were just either games that had just come out, like Valhalla and a couple other ones that were optimized, but not optimized as well than they were for the PlayStation 5, or a bunch of older games that look amazing and run at 60 or 120 frames, and this thing is amazing for backwards compatibility. But it doesn't have any exclusives right now, and I feel like if you're going to buy a system, and we'll get to that in a little bit here, but if you're going to buy a system right now, the PlayStation 5, because literally, it has the exclusive games. It has, Demon Souls and Miles Morales, which is coming to the PlayStation 4 as well. But, I mean, come on. It's not going to have ray tracing or anything like that. I bought Cold War. I'm not even a big Call of Duty fan, but once I was watching the Digital Foundry and how all the guns are making ray tracing, the game looks phenomenal. The story is a little bit shorter, in my opinion, than most of the Call of Duties that I remember. But, man, so much content. As far as zombie mode, multiplayer games, they've got so many types of multiplayer games. It is a really good package. But, by the way, we're going to talk about that next. So these both come with 1 terabyte hard drive SSDs, right? The PlayStation being slightly faster. The Xbox I have not filled up all the way, even though I have Game Pass, and I went over my data limit because of this thing, just downloading games. But the PlayStation 5, I've already pretty much had to start deleting things because, first off, Call of Duty Cold War, I believe, is 160 gigs. So it is a giant game. And, even Demon Souls and stuff, I think, is 50 gigs. So you can run out of space very quickly with these. So I really want PlayStation to kind of hurry up and standardize and make that expansion port active. One other thing I did try, 2 things in fact. So I bought Maneater, which comes out next month on PlayStation Plus for free if you have it. Is a fully upgrade. There you get the PlayStation 5 version for free when you buy the PlayStation 4 version. So I played that on this too, and it was amazing. It was a really cool RPG shark game, and I really like sharks in general, so I thought that was really neat. It's very funny. There's lots of funny stuff that goes on in there as well. But it's really cool that, you got the PlayStation 5 version for free, which you now get for free on PlayStation Plus. So if you're buying a PlayStation 5, you'll get literally 2 really good games. I think 3, actually, because I think Bugsnax is still free too, for free. Including all the PlayStation 4 collection, which I guess some people got in trouble selling online and stuff, which is 12 to 20 games for free that have been optimized for this thing. So yeah, We'll come back to that. And then the other thing is, this thing also supports PlayStation VR. And some of the games, like Blood and Truth, have literally released a patch for the PlayStation 5 where it's running a native 4K before it gets into your headset. And even though the headset is a lower resolution, it benefits from PlayStation 5, and the games look sharper. All the texture quality looks much better, and it runs at a higher frame rate, so less nausea, and everything looks smoother. So I've literally gone back and playing some of my PlayStation VR games even, now that I got the little attachment, which you do get for free from PlayStation as well. So you don't even get left behind there. It's an amazing bargain. So my closing thoughts on the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Both systems have their ups and downs. The Game Pass on the Xbox Series X is a game changer, that I feel that Sony needs to respond to. You get tons of games for one low fee, and you download them to the system. You don't have to stream them with like Stadia, where they look like crap when they're being streamed, and use all of your data. Even though I did use all my data downloading, but that's my fault. And the controller, if you've loved it before, it's the same controller, and it's really good. It's been tweaked a little bit here and there to really think. The games are really pretty looking. Backward compatibility is at a premium with this system. And if you love your older games looking brand new again, like Vanquished and stuff like that, this is the system for you. If you like new exclusive games that you have never played before and a new experience, PlayStation 5 might be for you, because this controller right here with the haptic feedback and HD Rumble is a game changer. I hope all games going forward support this. It is such a neat experience, and adds the tiny little tweaks that they make even in the trigger response and stuff like that with the trigger rumbling. It makes a huge difference. I feel like Xbox really needs to look at this controller and compete, because this is a game changer. This is like Nintendo's levels of innovation as far as how cool it is. The games on the PlayStation 5 look phenomenal. All the next-gen games, especially now that I've enabled my HDR that wasn't enabled for the longest time. If you have a PlayStation VR game, your games are going to look better, and they will not cost you anything to upgrade. You get a free little expansion to hook that sucker up to the PlayStation 5. There are PlayStation 4 games, all pretty much run very good on this thing and look phenomenal, running at usually a higher frame rate. I did play Titanfall 2 on my PlayStation 5, running at, I believe, it's either 60 or 120 with 4K, and it looked amazing with no stuttering. 60 solid, I think it's solid 60. Which system should you buy? If you only have money to buy one system, what should you buy? Or should you buy any of them? Well, if you want to play your older games better, buy the Xbox, because it doesn't have, any exclusives really right now. I don't think it has a single. I mean, there's some exclusives in there, it has to be, but nothing notable. The PlayStation 5 has many notable exclusives that, even if they are eventually coming to PlayStation 4, will look phenomenally better on the PlayStation 5. It is, if you only are to buy one system, buy the PlayStation. I'm just being real with you. It has the exclusives. It has the next generation feel with the controller, if nothing else. The graphics do look better than the older system, and that's where we're going to talk to right now. So there is word that there might be a PlayStation 5 Pro somewhere down the line, 3-4 years from now, that will give a little bit more. Should you wait on either of these systems? Well, the Xbox Series X, yes, I think you should wait, because right now Game Pass is only going to get better, and if PlayStation does come up with something of their own, Xbox, it's going to get even better. So the system is good. But yeah, I feel like you can wait on the Xbox Series X, honestly. Like, I really like mine, and if you can buy both, buy both. But, honestly, like, this has most of the exclusives right now. I've played this more. Recently, I've been playing my Xbox a little bit more, but that's just because I got it more recently. And I'm going through that back catalog of games. I'm playing Vanquish and stuff, and Cyberpunk a little bit. Really want them to patch that first. But I mean, I literally have played through almost 5 games completely from start to finish on the PlayStation 5. And I loved the system. Crashes, we've had a little bit more crashes on the PlayStation 5 than the Xbox Series X. But yeah, they're both phenomenal systems. But yeah, in closing, I would probably go with the PlayStation 5 right now, just to be honest with you. And there's nothing, I'm not a fanboy anyway. I collect everything. But I just feel like this is a more complete package as it stands right now. So yeah, like in closing, you know, I feel like the Xbox Series X was a good attempt at a new system, and I feel like going forward, it will be a great system with eventually getting more exclusives. They bought a bunch of studios this last year, including Bethesda, so who knows, you might only be able to get the next Doom or the next Elder Scrolls and stuff on the Xbox Series X. They have done where they're going to have a lot of exclusives coming down the road. But right now they just don't have those exclusives. So unless you want to basically play some of your older games at the most premium way you can, looking phenomenal with more frames, better resolution, and take advantage of their Game Pass. They had a bunch of deals on their Game Pass for Christmas. It is a great system, and it is a good way to spend some money. And both of these systems, by the way, are a bargain at their price point. Now, that's being said, they're both going to eventually get, revisions. They have literally shown with the last generation that these two will get revisions. So if you are the type to wait for the slim models and stuff like that, I don't blame you. Like, I'll probably buy those too, to be quite honest, because I'm just a sucker like that. But, the Xbox, I feel like you can wait. You can currently wait. You can play Cyberpunk. You can play The Vanquish. You can play everything but the Gears, basically, on the PlayStation 5. So, if that's why you're, getting it for the exclusives, don't get an Xbox Series X. If you're getting it for the back catalog, get the Xbox Series X. The PlayStation 5, yes, there will be a lot of these exclusive PlayStation games on the PlayStation 4 eventually, but they're not going to look as good, just quite frankly. And this comes with a free game, and it comes with a PlayStation 4 collection right now that is upscaled and looks great for free with when you buy the system. So the PlayStation 5, right? The PlayStation 5, I feel like if you can get your hands on one, it is a steal. Yes, it is a giant behemoth of a system. And yes, like, you're going to have to figure out where to put this thing. But I feel like between the controller and some of the exclusive games, it is a game changer. And it is a good deal for what you're getting. There are bugs, though. Just expect bugs. Like, in the software, like, you can look it up online. There has been bricking bugs to both systems. So, Sony has been very quick to patch those. But even the HDR thing that I was having was kind of a weird bug. And those things will be worked out with time. So, if you don't have to get one of these systems right now because you want to play the newer games, then maybe wait a little bit. Definitely don't pay scalpers or anything like that for the systems. Or if you have to pay scalpers, just don't pay a premium, especially with this. The Xbox Series X is not going to be, even scalpers are losing interest in it, like right now. You will be able to find these on shelves pretty soon. I'm going to guess in the next month or two. PlayStation 5 could take a little bit longer just because it is the more popular system it's showing. But yeah, just don't pay at crazy prices for them because you're going to be able to find them in a couple months. The other real quick thing, I will say the PlayStation 5 also has made it so you can remove these panels. It is unclear right now if they're going to sell their own panels or if third parties are going to just sell them. But it's kind of neat because you can customize your system, which you can't really do with the Xbox. Unless you just spray paint it, I guess. You could technically spray paint it. Plug all the holes up and spray paint it. But yeah, so I'm sure Xbox is going to do what they do too, where they make custom Gears of War versions and stuff like that of it. But, it's kind of neat the fact that you can actually just change the panels and have a new system. But I got off topic. So, anyway, Both systems are great for their own respective reasons. I feel like the PlayStation 5 currently is the only one to go out and buy right this second if you have to have a next-gen console. I feel like you could wait on either one. It's only going to get better. PlayStation is probably going to announce PSVR 2 at some point. Xbox is going to actually have some exclusives from Bethesda and stuff. So, you know, wait if you have to. But if you have to get one right now, get PlayStation 5. So anyway, this was RivalBoss. And I thank you guys so much for watching my video. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I had one person actually donate to the channel, and I would like to reach out and thank him for donating. Even I think it was like $10. It really helps. I put any money I get on the donations directly towards buying stuff for the channel. So you know, there's that. But anyway, so I thank you guys so much for watching the channel, and I'm excited to be a father soon. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed for me. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Until next time, this is the RivalBoss signing off, and next-gen consoles are here!